These are the upgrades that are going to give you the highest return on your multifamily investment. Let's start in the kitchen. So first and foremost, as you see here, this is completely remodeled. But one thing to note is that it's efficient as well. So right here we have an exhaust hood, right? We have an exhaust hood and it's sucking air. It's sucking air, and that's its sole purpose because there's a lot of toxins when these gas stoves are turned on. All types of gases and fumes and greases when you're cooking that really mess up these cabinets, that mess up the countertops if there's not proper ventilation. So make sure you have a good exhaust hood on any of your multifamily remodels because it will pay dividends. And another thing here on the countertop selection, you want to get nice countertops, but quartz, this is a quartz countertop that is very durable and not as porous as other stones. So with that being said, somebody could spill water on this, somebody could spill some Alfredo sauce and be easily cleaned without having to worry about staining this place. Okay, and the cabinets, these are just shaker cabinets, nothing special, but they do appeal. Right now the light oak is very popular across the board is what I'm seeing. So I highly recommend being selective on what design and color cabinets you're gonna choose, because once they're in, and they gotta be with the times, and they gotta stay with the times for the most part. Another thing to know, I did not know this, my plumber actually taught me this, is you wanna go chrome. You wanna go chrome with your trim, with your finishes on the plumbing, because the hard water that most cities have really damage any other material, and the chrome is the most durable and the easiest to maintain as far as cleaning up that hard water stains that you see throughout a lot of the fixtures, really just because of the hard water, the city water. When you're doing a remodel on your multifamily property, what you really want to consider is really just the temperature control. So these dual pane retrofit windows are amazing because first of all, they're inexpensive in my opinion, and easy to install with the right person that's installing, and they give you so much heat resistance. So before there were aluminum windows here, this place would get really hot. So now with these dual pane windows retrofit, we get a lot better insulation here so that the air conditioning doesn't need to be turned on, of course, as long as it would need otherwise. So right here we also have a mini split, okay? So heating and air is very important. This is a mini split unit. I think it's about 6,000 BTUs, which is more than enough for this one bedroom apartment here that you're looking at today. And it's just very efficient. So it doesn't involve you having to run ducting through the unit. This is a ductless system. This property actually doesn't even have an attic, okay? So you wouldn't even be able to put ducts in this specific unit. So this is the only way to get efficient air supply, heating and air through this unit, okay? Another thing to keep in mind, a lot of people don't think about is the color of the walls, right? The paint and what type of sheen, right? So I like semi-gloss or gloss for apartments. Why is that? They're easier to clean. Yes, they're a little glossier, but it's gonna give you the highest resistance to dirt, smudges, where you can just wipe it down. I also like to go a different tone on the trim, on the baseboard, all on the door trims as well, and the doors, to give it a little different look. You may or may not be able to notice that on the video, but there is a different color. So on the walls here, we have Chantilly white with a coffee, with a coffee on all the trim, okay? And it makes a difference when you're standing in it. Another thing to note, so I love ceiling fans. I love air circulation. If you can't tell, I love air circulation. So I like to put a ceiling fan specifically in the bedroom, because let's say that a tenant is not in the living room area, not in the kitchen area, they don't want to turn on the air conditioner, but they just want some air circulation or some cooling in the room. Well, a ceiling fan is a perfect opportunity to have that. And specifically here, it's just in the room. But if you have a bigger unit, bigger apartment, you can put it in the living room, you can put it in all the rooms, and that will just give you just more air circulation, being able to access to just cool down one room instead of having to cool down the entire property. All right, moving on into the bathroom. I love the bathroom. I think it's one of the staple pieces for a home. People get to, enjoy their either bath or shower, what have you. But here we have a shower, okay? There used to be a bath here. We got rid of it. We threw a shower in here. It's just a lot more efficient when it comes to space. And as you can see, we went with tile, okay? Porcelain tiles on the shower. And I like porcelain because it's easier, it's durable. And what we did is we went with the bigger tiles, okay? I like the small tile look, but the reason for bigger tiles is because it's gonna be less grout, okay? Less grout, meaning less debris, less buildup that occurs, less cleanup, okay? Because this grout over time, it will pick up oils, it will pick up dirt, and the less grout we have, the better. Okay, so same here again with the chrome finishes for the plumbing, so that the hard water doesn't destroy them, okay? I've seen it with gold trim, I've seen it with bronze trim. If you do not have a water softener system in the property, the hard water is gonna destroy the fixtures quite quickly. So chrome is the most durable, easiest to clean. My plumber taught me that. And shout out to Legacy Plumbing, and yeah, that's a great hack for all your plumbing fixtures. All right, so lastly, on the floors, as you see here, you're probably thinking it's wood or some laminate vinyl plank. It's not. It's porcelain tiles, and I personally like porcelain tiles for many reasons. First and foremost, it keeps the property a lot cooler. It's a lot cooler. It's a harder surface, which also gives you a lot more protection. Gives you more protection. If you were to spill water on this, you just wipe it. You wipe it down. I had somebody tell me, man, you have to really try to be damaging these floors to damage them. Like, you gotta hit them with a sledgehammer or something, because they're durable. You drop something on here, you're gonna be fine. They're not gonna lift over time. And it's a clean look, man. It's just a clean look, easy to clean. You come in here, you get a mop, and you clean this place up, make it look brand new. Recessed lighting, that's a big one. Lighting is just big in general nowadays. I mean, I want good lighting when I'm recording, taking photos of my food, what have you, right? So we were in recessed lighting here. There was none here prior to, okay? This actually has no attic, so what we had to do was drop the ceiling a bit and run wires for the recessed lighting that you currently see. But it's very important because it gives you just an even amount of light throughout the entire property. So when it's the evening time, nighttime, you can light up the place, and someone could actually float through it, see everything that they need to see, take pictures, get on FaceTime, get on Zoom calls, whatever it may be. So lighting is very important. I highly recommend recessed lighting, and then it's there already. You can upgrade to LED to give you a more efficient light, or just in general, just give you better light versus traditional lighting, lamps and what have you. Well, people forget, guys, if you don't have a smoke alarm in your property, carbon monoxide, you're at like a legal risk if something happens. So the very easiest way you can ensure yourself is make sure there's some damn smoke detectors in your property, whether it's a residential investment property or your own home. God forbid there's a fire and there's nothing to warn anyone about it, so there's a reason why they're invented, and there's a reason why they're required by code, and there's a reason why your insurance company wants them as well. So make sure you have smoke detectors in the necessary areas of the property. All right, so that's really the breakdown here as it pertains to the upgrades, the return on your investment that's going to give you the highest yield when it comes to your multifamily investments. If you have any questions, just tap in, send a message, put a comment down on any of your upgrades that you're doing currently. I'd love to hear it. We'll be in touch.